It's a day before Autocross, so it's time to go through this car and do a final check through and prep everything. So that just means like basically I'm gonna do tire pressures. I'm gonna fix my GoPro mount that I 3D printed. Still gotta work all that out. I gotta round some things off so those bolts work. I'm gonna make sure everything's tight. Go through, torque the lug nuts, everything. Just check that there's nothing loose, check all the floorboards, check harnesses, check the harness, how it fits. Make sure I have everything ready for tomorrow. Check fluids as a final check through. Just took it for a little drive. You can see the number that I need to put on this side, on the driver's side. I screwed up passenger side, but we won't talk about that. It's fine. And there's a few other things that I'm going to do, but yeah, just gonna do a general checkup on it right before I drive it to COTA tomorrow. Check the oil level, check the battery in the trunk, radiator fluid, the brake fluid I don't have listed here. Checked my steering wheel bolts for the quick release, just double check everything, add a little bit more water. Don't need antifreeze because Texas, even though it froze last week, whatever. But yeah, so everything is looking good up here. I still need to do tire pressures. I'm going to overinflate them. So when I get to the track, because I won't have a compressor there, then I can finally deflate them to the tire pressure I want when I do my runs. And generally just tighten everything down. It's looking good. It's ready to get thrashed on tomorrow. So as far as I can tell, next thing I'm going to do is, this is a 5-speed swap car, and clearly that brake pedal is a little large. It's because it's from automatic. So I'm gonna cut it. Let's see. I don't know what tool I'm gonna use. I have many at my disposal, and I'm gonna try the Sawzall first, probably against my better judgment. So we'll see how that goes. Well, Sawzall took care of that really easily. Nice. Now it feels like a normal pedal set. Doesn't look like one. Feels like it though. I don't know if I've mentioned this in any of the past videos or anything, but this used to have a high idle, and it developed it in the past year, and I don't know exactly when. And a little while ago, I started going through the car looking, and this vacuum line, struggled to figure out what it was called for a second. This vacuum line had a cap on it that was all degraded. It was bad, broken apart. So I got another rubber cap, put it on there, and runs good, better. The sticker bombing begins. I need stickers. Norris in the 6th and final trophy position. So since I don't have too much autocross content from the day, I figured I would take my one decent run, the last run I had, and kind of annotate over it a little bit, talking about it. So the first part of the run, there's really nothing to talk about. It's pretty simple, easy going through here. This corner, I think I could do better, so I'll play it through. Okay, so you can see what I think I could do better here is there's a lot of room. Let me get up here. There's a lot of room out here. You notice that's the boundary out here. So all of this is extra room, and I'm just right on top of that cone. So I'm not saying I should use all of it, but what I'm saying is, if you notice, I'm on top of that cone, I apex this cone, and then I'm on top of this cone. So I really rounded this corner, and you see when I come up to this gate, I still have a good amount of steering input, right? So like that's the top dead center of the wheel, that's straight, and it's still pointing out to the left a good amount. So I still have a good amount of steering lock in this, and I'm still trying to get over to this cone because I have another set of cones that are pushing me further to the left. So what I think I could have done, and could have saved myself from this oversteer in the middle of the corner, right? I could have squared the corner off, you know, a la Max Verstappen, square it off rather than rounding it, right? I'm rounding it around these things. And if I just drove it in a little bit deeper, oh, fat fingered it here. If I drove it in a little bit deeper, and instead of turning in there, like turn in right at probably just past this cone, and then that would square the corner. So I would have a sharper turn, but that means I would be straight and on power probably here. So I would have a straighter steering lock. I never tried this, but I'm just, you know, looking at the video, it kind of seems like that was the better line. I also noticed this. Let's see if we can see these people. So these dudes standing over here, they're doing course work, and you're basically just looking for cones that get knocked around, or DNFs. So when I was doing my coursework, I noticed that it probably would have been faster driving it in and squaring the corner off. Some of the faster dudes look like they were doing that. So yeah, I come through here, still have a good amount of steering lock coming up to this gate. I'm really trying to get left because we're coming up through where the slalom is. Slalom tripped me up a couple times, finally nailed it on this one. The slalom itself wasn't hard at all. It's just the fact that I was confused coming through here and just trying to read the cones quickly, you know, at speed. What I ended up doing is I went to the right, and clearly, if we come up to the cone, it's pointing me left. So that's the result of my DNFs, was kind of here as I kept screwing this up. So we can play it through. One thing I want to point out here, as we get through here, you might have noticed, I think this is cool. It's really not too crazy. Everybody does this as they're driving. It's just cool to notice. The track, the scanning, you know, they always say keep your eyes down course, look way ahead of you, and that's kind of exactly what I'm doing here. You can see I'm looking at these cones, and then as we move forward here, I'm going to get my tire up onto this cone, and you're going to see my head turn to the left, and I'm going to start looking at these and the cones that are further down here. So you can see as we turn in, my head's going to turn left. Boom. I am now looking. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this. Yeah. I mean, everybody does it. It's just cool to notice. Coming downhill here. Got a little bit of oversteer. Came up on this. The last part here, the very end, I could have done better, right? So you notice there was a ton of steering input there and a little bit slow, and I didn't use a lot of my track. So I wanted to get right up on this cone. I did. So I could really apex this turn, but I think what happens is I should be unwinding the wheel right about here, right? And I'm still turning in, and what I want to be is unwinding the wheel right now and pointing out that way. I don't use any of the exit here, which could have probably made up some time. You notice I lost a lot of speed because I braked a lot. The Miata is a momentum car, so I had no power coming to the finish line, right? And that's the timing thing. So I want to try and get as much speed up past that. But you notice if I play it through here, I'm very far over to the left, and I could track out more. So yeah, just look how far over left I am. I want to be further out this way and more up on these cones to carry more speed. But other than that, I think it was a pretty decent run, and yeah, it was really cool to kind of walk through the track and annotate this and look at where I could do better next time.